A ceasefire agreement brokered by Egypt brought a tentative halt to the latest round of fighting between Israel and Hamas on Sunday, January 19, 2025. This truce marked a pivotal moment after 15 months of conflict that have devastated Gaza and fueled tensions across the region. The deal centered on a prisoner exchange, a deeply sensitive issue for both sides, reflecting the complex human cost of this protracted conflict. At the heart of the agreement was the release of 90 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. These prisoners, some held for years, represent a cross-section of Palestinian society, including women, minors, and those convicted of both major and minor offenses. Their release, a beacon of hope for many Palestinians, came at a heavy price: the freedom of 3 Israeli hostages held captive by Hamas since 2024. In the pre-dawn hours of Monday, January 20, 2025, buses carrying Palestinian prisoners snaked their way through the occupied West Bank, their headlights cutting through the darkness. At Ofer Prison, near Ramallah, the scene was one of both joy and apprehension. Families, some separated for decades, waited anxiously for a glimpse of their loved ones. Among those released were figures like Khalida Jarrar, a prominent Palestinian politician and activist, and Dalal Qassib, a mother of 6 who had served 15 years. Their stories, etched with the pain of separation and the resilience of the human spirit, underscore the deep personal toll of this conflict. Each freed prisoner carried with them not only their own story but also the hopes and anxieties of a people yearning for peace. As prisoners stepped off the buses, they were met with a mix of emotions. Overjoyed families rushed to embrace them, tears of joy mixing with the lingering pain of years lost. Palestinian flags, symbols of defiance and hope, waved in the air, despite Israeli authorities' attempts to prevent public displays of joy. The prisoner release sparked celebrations across the West Bank and Gaza, but it also drew criticism from some Israelis who viewed it as a concession to terrorism. The fragile nature of the ceasefire was evident in the continued tensions and the potential for renewed violence. The release, while a positive step, represented just one thread in the intricate tapestry of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Gap 3S. Today, in a significant development, Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend the ceasefire for another week. This extension comes amid ongoing negotiations facilitated by international mediators. The extension aims to provide more time for both sides to address key issues and work towards a more permanent resolution. The international community continues to monitor the situation closely, urging both parties to maintain the truce and engage in constructive dialogue. The extension provides a ray of hope for those weary of conflict, but also underscores the delicate balance that must be maintained to prevent a return to violence. As the week unfolds, the world watches with bated breath, hoping for a breakthrough that can lead to lasting peace. The ceasefire and prisoner exchange marked a fragile step towards de-escalation, but the road ahead remains fraught with challenges. The release of 90 Palestinian prisoners, while significant, represents only a fraction of the thousands still incarcerated in Israeli prisons. The root causes of the conflict, including land disputes, security concerns, and the question of Jerusalem, remain unresolved. The influx of humanitarian aid into Gaza following the ceasefire offered a glimmer of hope for a population grappling with the devastation of war. The international community, while welcoming the truce, stressed the need for a lasting solution that addresses the underlying issues fueling the conflict. As the dust settles, the question remains: will this fragile ceasefire hold, paving the way for meaningful dialogue and a more peaceful future?